Hey everybody, Swiggles or Ro here, and this is your first real part, or part 2 of our tutorial series on how to make a video game remix or cover. The first step we gotta really do is pick a song. Whenever I make covers, I actually refer to a humongous list of my favorite video game tunes or other tunes. They're not just the ones I like hearing, but they're the ones that I feel are a lot of fun to play on guitar or my instruments. And another important step is you want to make sure you're picking a song that you have the motivation to do, as well as maybe the ability. If you know that you're not the best at playing a song with like a lot of arpeggios, for example, or something that's very fast, you might want to steer away from it, or you might want to dedicate some more time to practicing. One important thing that a lot of people I see don't really actively do once they start learning how to record is they don't really work on their guitar chops anymore, their piano chops, or whatever. And that's a really, really big important part of being a musician. If you start watching videos of people who are like shredding crazily and stuff, and some people dismiss it and say that they just don't like to play that way, but you know, sometimes if you just really push yourself, you'll be able to play those things that you enjoy hearing, and eventually you'll like to play them too. So give yourself a shot. Don't stretch your difficulty too far or you'll never make a cover. But don't pick something too easy, or else you may not fall in love with the cover or be as proud of it just because you skimped out. I'm going to pick Song of Storms. For most of you guys who know this song, it's from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and it's a classic song that you hear in Kakariko Village inside the windmill hut. For those of you guys who don't know, I'll try to post a link quickly somewhere in here. I don't want to play it in the video for copyright. The reason why I'm picking Song of Storms also is because I'm working on an Ocarina of Time album on my on the side, and I figured that I could kill two birds with one stone and pick an easy song for you guys to follow along with. So, what I'm gonna do first is you know, just listen to the song. Easiest first step that you guys might forget sometimes. Listen to the song straight and make sure you have all the melodies right in your head. And sometimes it's also even better if you play the game again and you start hearing where the song's coming from, because you'll also start to recognize other songs inside the song, maybe where the melodies cross over, and you might be able to get a feel for the song. You know, is it happy? Is it sad? Not everything needs to have, you know, you take the song and then you just put metal guitars over it and call it a day. You deserve more than that, and you owe it to yourself to find your own voice and style and come up with something a little bit different, something that says your cover. The biggest message that I live by on music in general, especially when it comes to covers, is why listen to mine when I can listen to the original or somebody else's? What sets mine apart? Why did I make this in the first place? Just ask yourself that, and immediately you're gonna realize maybe you could do something better. Maybe you like this part, or you want to play the song this way even though it was played straight. The more you ask yourself this question, the more you're gonna get a song that's catering to your likes, not to, you know, what you assume someone else on YouTube's gonna like. Lastly, before we pick the song and move a little further, think about how this song is going to sound at the end. Like, close your eyes and just imagine, how is this finished product going to sound? Is it going to be, you know, groove oriented? Is it going to incorporate jazz? Is it going to be funky? Are we going to play it straight? Is there going to be some swing elements to it? You know, will it jet? Will it be progressive? Will we incorporate other songs in it? There's just a million ideas for what you can do with a remix, and sometimes you can write them down and reuse them. A lot of the times I'll just copy the melody over and take away the melody and put a guitar solo there, and I'm usually content with that for shorter songs. But of course, we're going the extra mile. This is going to appear on an album. It's going to be pretty important. So make sure that you got the song and your goal in mind. Arranging. How are we going to arrange this thing? For this section, again, I'm still not pulling out the guitar quite yet, because we can still talk and think about how we're going to do this without having any instruments. When I use the word arrange, and I want to make this very clear, I do not have any form of professional music theory understanding. Everything I've learned is from various classes in school, taking a little bit of lessons from my own teacher and picking up stuff from friends and, you know, reading on my own. I don't have this brilliant way of writing out all the sheet music. It will take a very long time. It's the same reason why I don't write out tabs. When I use the word arrange, I mean, how is this song going to go? You know, what parts of a song are we doing? We're basically writing our own song. If you think of covering a song like playing it exactly as is, that's one stage of understanding the music. But if you want to go that next level, if you want to stand out, if you want to make something catchy, I think, personally, that we've got to do just a bit more. So, what do songs have in general? Some songs have intros. If you listen to any of your favorite bands or musicians, which is another extremely helpful tool in making what I think are really good remixes and covers, is, you know, sometimes they start with a guitar riff at the beginning. I've done this a lot with covers like Route 113, where I started with a tapping riff. Sometimes this just sets the stage for the mood of a song. Sometimes they just start with orchestra and strings or some sort of synthesizer effect, and that can creep in well. I'm of course just talking out loud ideas and throwing them. Sometimes it helps to talk to a friend about this, and in the video game musician community, there is no shortage of amazing friends who love to bounce off ideas. Myself and Jonathan Parecki or David Russell, these are all great people to talk to, and you're always free to message me if you have arrangement ideas or want to, you know, come up with something. So I personally think Song of Storms should have storms in it. So I think we can begin with some sort of storm setting, and maybe we can begin clean using some guitar effects, some delay. This is all just me having things in my brain and trying to translate them into conceivable, doable music. If you know how to make what's in your head come to reality with your playing skills, then you've already accomplished maybe like 80% of the difficulty, I promise. If you still don't have the chops to figure out how to play songs, definitely focus on playing guitar and figuring out, you know, some basic scale shapes. You don't have to know what notes you're playing at that point, but just know what key you're in and how to make things match and connect. So with our arrangement, I think if we played the main part, the do-da-da, do-da-da, we can finish the song in maybe 30 seconds, but I think we can build up a little more. So to keep the stormy nature of it, I'm gonna write an original riff and sort of use that to retain my originality. I like progressive metal and repeating rock riffs like Iron Maiden and Metallica have, so I generally combine these sort of into something that's catchy but at the same time stands out and has a kind of distinguished tone. So with our arrangement, I'm going to pull up Reaper once I have a really good idea, but not a complete idea, of what we're going to create. So if my goal is to make this short little clip at least 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to need more than that. So how about we put in some sound effects for the beginning. I mentioned an original riff, so maybe we can peek at the original riff once we write it, and then we can start throwing in some melodies. We can start putting in you know, little side parts. We can have a different part that wasn't in the original song but fits with the key. We can throw in a guitar solo if we'd like. All these just talking out is going to create what hopefully becomes a very good product. And once we have this product in our head, we can begin to actually program out drums, which I like to do first, as well as some guitar riffs, which I also tend to do simultaneously. One important thing I'll mention later, of course, with drums is for metal music, you usually want to keep the accents and the dynamics and, you know, the parts that are louder and quieter. You want to balance this all together into this tight product. So we'll definitely need to keep some of that in mind as we're writing our remix. Other things to keep in mind, of course, is if you start feeling like you're sounding too much like someone else, listen to a very, very different style of music for a while. Don't even touch your instrument and slowly start to pull it back out. And, you know, sometimes just taking little breaks will make everything sound and play differently. When I'm in a mood, if I listen to a lot of Foo Fighters, I'm going to be playing a lot more rhythmic stuff. If I listen to a lot of metal, I might be working a lot more on, you know, intricacy and crazy solos and stuff. So give yourself time, space out some of these things, and collect your ideas well. And as long as you voice out what's in your head onto your hands and into the recorder, you're gonna make a solid product no matter what.
Memes.